Yes, fellas, what's going on? The It is the return of the highly anticipated press conference. The UFC videos are fully back. Obviously, we had the video that went up Friday about Charles Oliveira missing weight, but now we have the full coverage of the UFC 274 card. And if I'm being very honest, we probably picked one of the worst cards to return to. A very terrible card overall, if I'm being honest. So to start off with, Cowboy got pulled from his fight because he got sick. And then we have the full list results there. I don't know if Rajiv, you could read it. I forgot to introduce it, but yeah, hard luck there.
Yeah, so the first fight of the night was Randy Brown versus Chaos Williams, and Randy Brown pulled out a decision win. And then you had Shogun Hua versus Uvin Senpru, and OSP also got a decision win. And honestly, probably the two best fights on the card, including the main event. But yeah, we'll move on now.
Yeah.
And probably the three fights that everyone looking forward to.
Yeah, so let me just dig right into it, dog. Let me start with the fight that I don't want to have to talk about much. Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson. Both you and me feel the same way. It's just terrible to see what happened to Tony. Obviously Tony got knocked out in the second round by a front kick to the face from Michael Chandler. It was as clean as he could get, and yeah, Tony just kind of dropped to the floor. And you have anything you want to add?
Honestly, yeah, it was really just sad to see that happen to Tony. It was his first like actual KO loss. And yeah, it was just like a hard loss to see happen. But yeah, and we are kind of don't want to see Tony fight again. But like, if you look at the first round, he actually dropped Chandler in the first round, and I think he dropped him twice, and he actually won that round 10-9. So, but with that being said, yeah, we could just move on from this fight because like I don't think anybody wants to talk about this fight anymore.
Yeah.
It was just horrible for everybody.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I said, congrats to Chandler, great knockout. Real quick before we move on, yeah, what was you gonna say?
Yeah, no, I was gonna ask you, we had like a call out from Chandler, by the way.
Yeah,
called out.
That's what I was gonna say too. What's next for Chandler? Excuse me, fuck.
Well,
just keep it running.
Alright, cool. Yeah. Well, he called out Conor McGregor and he called out Justin Gaethje for a rematch. Well, yeah, I assume he thought Gaethje would have won the fight, and surely he's not gonna get a rematch versus Olivera. So I think maybe the Conor fight, he actually wanted to fight Conor at 170. So I am thinking that's a winnable fight for Conor. I think that and especially having Chandler go up to 170 might be a little bit of an advantage for Conor, but yeah, I think that might be the next fight whenever Conor pretty soon.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Conor fight is the next step forward for Chandler. Let him get that payday, let him get that easy win, and then just keep moving. But I don't think maybe the Justin Gaethje fight is
I still will have to come back to that because we have a lot of like big fights on the card to come.
Yeah, but yeah, just to wrap up this, I think the McGregor fight is the way forward. He did call out Justin Gaethje. Maybe that is a fight to be seen in the future. But yeah, they'll just skip right to, and well, in regards to Tony, like you said, I think he should hang it up. But moving into the co-main event of the night, in my opinion, a fight for a contender for fight of the year, if you ask me. We had Carla Esparza dethroning Rose Namajunas in a split decision, I believe. So talk me through his fight real quick though, because I know the people don't want to hear too much about his fight, to be honest.
This was honestly one of the worst fights I've ever seen. It was honestly just than see. Honestly, I think Rose was just scared of being taken on because Esparza did shoot for a takedown, I believe, in round 1 or 2, early round 2, and she got it. But Rose was always quick to her feet, and Rose just didn't engage for the entire fight. Was on the outside being backed up against the fence, and as far as actually got some takedowns, and even though she didn't do much of it, she still won her the round because there was like literally so little contact. You had to judge the round based on octagon control, and yeah, based on that, as far as I won most of the rounds in my opinion. Rose really only landed 2 left hooks from what I've seen, and literally some leg kicks, and that was it. That was literally her entire game plan. And it was weird because she stormed out of the octagon like she had done enough to win that fight when in fact she didn't really do anything at all. So
Yeah, and I
that's
think
basically my thoughts.
yeah,
And
I think part of what kind of messed up too was just kind of giving bad call advice. Now, if I'm being very honest, I didn't watch this fight too in depth. I had it was a split screen up because I was watching the Canelo fight, which that's a whole other topic for another day. Though it's a sad day for combat sports, but yeah, I think probably what the corner was telling her was that she probably in control, she probably winning, and like they didn't realize what was happening, and that just kind of like trickled down into Rose performing bad as well. But yeah, congrats to Carla Esparza. She beats Rose for the second time. She has two wins over her now, and I believe I think she now holds the record for the longest time between two title reigns. But yeah. So real quick, what's next for both of these fighters? Obviously, you have the big fight with Joanna and Whaley coming up in the next pay per view. Maybe the winner of that fights for the title and the loser that fights Rose. Maybe.
yeah, I think that's the way forward because I believe the UFC was looking at that at the Joanna Wheelie fight as a title, as a number one title, a number one contender fight. So depending on what happens with that fight, I think we'd have a contender for Carla
Yeah.
because I don't see Rose getting a immediate rematch for that title,
Yeah.
considering that Carla beat her twice already.
Yeah, but I think to be honest, no matter who wins that you just real quick touch on that you want to fight. I think no matter who wins between Joanna and Whaley, they're gonna be the new champion because once Joanna is as good as she was before, she took the
Mm.
hiatus from the ring, from the octagon. Sorry, she's gonna beat Carla. And the same thing with Whaley. I think Whaley beats her easily. So she from the looks like she's probably just like a what do you call it a transitional champion. I think that's the right term. But enough of that boring
Yeah,
fight out
but
of the way. You have anything else you want to
mhm.
add to that fight?
Not really. I think we could move on to the main event of the
Main
night.
event of the evening. The probably only good fight that was on the card. The fight that definitely saved this card because if this fight wasn't good, I gotta be honest, I was making this video. But
Yeah,
yeah, so
that's
we
true. That's
have
true.
I think in everybody's eyes, Charles Oliveira defending his lightweight title, and as he
Uh-huh.
put Justin Gaethje to sleep in round one. Now, even though the fight is only like 3 4 minutes, it was the most chaotic, wild 3 to 4 minutes I've seen in a long, long time. And that's partially because that Rose fight felt like an eternity. But yeah. So Justin came out good really early on. He dropped Charles twice. Even though I think Charles landed a really good left or right hook, I think early on that kind of stunned Gaethje. But Gaethje he did the same thing that he did when he fought Tony, was that he was just swinging on these big punches, put everything behind him, trying to knock him the hell out. And I think this is where if he would have survived the first round, I think his coach Trevor Whitman would have told him, the same thing he told him when he was fighting Tony, dial it back a little bit, you gotta kill him with every punch and just focus on volume. And I think that if he would have got to the corner and that was the advice he would have got, he would have listened. I think maybe he would have knocked him out eventually, or the ref would have stopped it at some point because every time, every time Charles got knocked down, he laid on his back and he invited Justin to come down and scrap with him. But Justin, no, he didn't want to do that, as evident as how the fight finished. But what was true is that every time Charles got knocked down, he was able to recover a little bit and yeah, gather his bearings because Justin didn't want to come down there and give him the extra to try and finish the fight.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing about this fight was, yeah, like we didn't know how Charles was coming into this fight, considering the whole issue that we discussed on the video
Yeah, with him
Friday with
missing
the
the weight and
weigh-ins
stuff.
and stuff, him losing the title, and for him to come out and put on that kind of performance. And you mentioned Charles was, inviting Gaethje
Scrap on the ground.
to the mat, so yeah,
Yeah.
and it was interesting, yeah, because Gaethje just didn't bite on it because like you said, that's not where he wanted to be with Oliveira, and yeah, Oliveira was just able to recover on the ground, and in my opinion, I think Oliveira is probably the GOAT lightweight, and I would see that dethroning everybody's favorite lightweight, I guess, Khabib. I think
Oh,
he has more relevant wins, more impressive wins compared to Khabib. And yes, you can make the argument, Khabib beat Gaethje as well, but like if you look at the lineup that
and
Oliveira
Dustin as
has
well, you know.
compared to Khabib's, huh?
He beat Dustin as well.
Yeah. And the thing is, he beat them in way less time than it took Khabib to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm not just comparing the wins, but like I'm just comparing Oliveira's overall resume. I think Oliveira's is a good lightweight,
Yeah, I mean
and that's his best.
that's a very interesting yeah, that's a very interesting take you have there with Oliver being the lightweight gold because we talk about their resumes and obviously Khabib has those three great title defenses against three league competitions. And Charles faced two of those three guys and beat them already. But there's one name that's missing. It's your boy, the notorious Conor McGregor, who Charles called out after his win.
Yeah,
So what your thoughts going on there?
I personally think that that is the fight to make. I think that that is the fight that makes the most sense. Um, Not just business wise, but if you think about it, Conor actually never lost his lightweight title.
Oh yeah,
Um, yeah,
really for real now.
yeah, and but no, seriously, I think that would be a fun fight. I believe um Islam Makhachev and Benil still needs to fight, and the like let's say they fight in the fall, Islam isn't gonna fight for the rest of the year again. So I think that's like literally the only contender left is Connor because Oliveira cleared out everybody else. He beat Tony, he beat Chandler, he beat Poirier, he beat Gaethje, he beat literally everyone in the top five that he needed to beat.
Yeah.
So like if you think about it, Connor is the only one that's left, and we have some tweets from Connor as well saying that he some say all that he does is beat the Brazilians. So I mean, um,
But I don't
I
think you can beat
mean,
this Brazilian.
I honestly think this is an interesting matchup because the guys that Oliveira has faced so far been known to be sort of chinny, like Chandler, not Gaethje so much, but I think Gaethje let his emotions get the best of him in this fight
Yeah, he got too
because, like you said,
excited.
he was just putting everything into all those punches, and he tired of
Yeah,
himself, and that ultimately caused him to get submitted. But yeah, it was a crazy fight for as long as it lasted, honestly.
yeah. Like I said, it was like what, 3 4 minutes. So busy while it's 3 to 4 minutes. So the entire night, and because it was literally non-stop action for those 3 to 4 minutes.
This fight
Um,
was really up and down people just emotionally.
for me, it was more down to be honest. I mean, this fight like I said, this fight rescued this video to be honest. Because without that fight, this video wouldn't happen. But I think to be honest, going forward, I think Islam tweeted out that congrats Oliveira, see you in Abu Dhabi for the vacant title or something like that. So if that is the fight, if that is the move going forward, it'll be very interesting to see if that happened. But I think Dana White said, I mean, at the time I recording, he is having his press conference right now, so you don't know what's exactly saying. But I know he said that Islam has to fight Benil in whenever that's gonna happen. So it kind of does leave the door open for McGregor to come back if Islam and Benil do fight. But if they don't, I think you make the Islam versus Benil versus Oliveira fight, and then you make Chandler versus McGregor. Because I think Chandler's kind of like the litmus test now for most up and coming lightweights to see if they really can hang with the top five guys or not. Because based on what he did to Tony today, you could see his quality, but like that's lost over Gaethje, so kind of pulls him back, and Oliver so kind of holds him back a little bit. So I think he is the gatekeeper for the top five and lightweight division going forward.
That's a pretty impressive KO. So depending on how the title picture plays out, you never know. It might very well end up being the McGregor Chandler fight, or it might end up being McGregor Oliveira, and then maybe Chandler fights the winner of Islam Benil,
Yeah, maybe.
and then the winner of that gets a title shot. Maybe I don't know, but I feel like even if if Islam is able to get through Daniel, I think he would be the number one contender.
Yeah,
But
and one thing too is kind of interesting. Islam versus Oliveira will kind of be the fight that always got away from us. Yeah, and I saw a stat where the only two active lightweights with 10 plus wins is Charles and Islam, and at a point in time that was Tony and Khabib, active lightweights with 10 plus wins. So I think this is the way to go to get the fight out. We never got as MMA fan with Charles and Islam. And it'd certainly be interesting to see how it goes.
I agree. Even Rogan said after the pay-per-view, he said between those two fighters, you can't really pick one of them to win for sure. So like it's definitely an interesting matchup, but I really can't name anybody that Islam has beat. So like I really think the Daniel fight is necessary to kind of
Yeah, it's like a kind of litmus test again.
Yeah, because I don't think he beat anybody of significance really to warrant a title shot. And it'll be the same thing that Khabib went through where everybody said he packed on his record with like a bunch of easy fights, people with a lot of losses.
Yeah.
So maybe fighting Daniel is the move for Islam. But we'll see in the coming months. We still need to figure out this vacant lightweight title picture first before we can get like another contender.
Yeah, I mean, because as it stands right now, the lightweight division is in limbo. But I mean, like I said, in the coming months, we'll see what's been going on. We'll see what Dana White says and what the next fights are. So I think with that being said, we can kind of wrap it up there. Unless you have anything else you wanna add in?
No, I think that's it. I think we had like a very weird night of fights, to say the least.
Yeah, weird is the right word. This whole card has, not even the night, the entire lead up to the card has been weird.
Actually, yeah, we had like a really weird experience with this card, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and what time to make a return?
It was good to see. Yeah, it was good to see Olivera gets a win, or get his win.
It's title
in my
defense,
opinion. Yeah, I still consider him the champion. A lot of people still consider him the champion. So it was good to see that. The Rose fight was disappointing, but it is what it is. And the best settle Chandler Ferguson the better.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's just for me.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of wrapped everything up there. I can just say better himself. But yeah, guys, with that being said, thank you guys as always for watching. More UFC content gonna be coming soon. We're gonna try to do weekly videos, hopefully covering news and stuff that's been going on. We're gonna try to bring back the This Week in MMA. So be on the lookout for that. There should be a episode of the Buzz and Beater podcast going up. You're gonna be seeing this Sunday, so hopefully by Monday or Tuesday that episode should go up. So be on the lookout for that. But with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. As always, this has been your boy Shivs and Retrieve. Catch you guys later. Bye.
Peace.